I mean, where did you come from and where did this process really start for you?
Yeah, I would say everything started over 10 years ago. I worked at Hot 97 when I was in college, 19. I got an internship. For those who don't know, Hot 97 is like a number one radio station in America. It's a hip hop and R&B station. And I was an intern and I worked for free for 3 years. I ended up doing a really great job in my first, semester as an intern, got promoted to work on the Angie Martinez show and became Angie Martinez's assistant, who was the voice of New York. And so during my time at Hot 97, I did all the research for the number one show that they had. I did all the interview prep. I ran the contests. I ran the radio boards. I even did commercials and honed my on-air skills. And at the same time, I would host online radio shows on the side. And so before there was anything called podcasts, there was this concept called an online radio show. And you used to go to a physical studio, record live, and you would tell everyone on Twitter, which was like the hot platform at the time, catch me 3 p.m. on dtfradio.com. And then it would like live on that website as like a little video that people could watch on demand. And that was podcasts before there were podcasts. So Young and Profiting was actually like my fourth or fifth show by the time I launched it, because I had all these different online radio shows. I ended up leaving Hot 97. Transparently, I did get fired after 3 years for a very silly reason. They were just trying to get rid of me because I was a risky, unpaid intern who was, asking to get paid. So they got rid of me. I ended up starting a blog site called The Sorority of Hip Hop. And, within 3 months, we were one of the most popular hip hop and entertainment fashion sites in the world. Blog sites were huge at this time. It was like around 2010. I almost got a show on MTV twice. That didn't quite pan out, but that experience was amazing. I hosted all the coolest parties in the city. We had this amazing blog. Like I said, we also had online radio shows as the Sorority of Hip Hop. I interviewed Fabulous, Soulja Boy, Chris Brown, you name it. So we used to do a lot of like music interviews. Then I went into corporate because I didn't get that show on MTV and I was devastated. And I kind of lost my way for about 3-4 years. I thought I was just going to be a normal person. I thought that I wasn't cut out for entertainment. I had a lot of that Arabic pressure on me that like you need to just be like a lawyer, doctor, or corporate person or you're not successful. And all my siblings were doctors. So that was like made it even worse. I was just like this girl that was like trying to be on the radio. And like I was like just like a total black sheep in my family. 4 years into corporate, I didn't get an opportunity that I wanted. And it triggered me to start a podcast. Podcasts were more mainstream at this time. They weren't as technical to get into. People were actually listening to podcasts. This was 2018. So I started Young and Profiting Podcast. And now 4 years later, number one education podcast across all apps. I run a media agency for social and podcasts that has 60 employees. And we're like really the hottest thing in the industry right now. It's called Yap Media. And this is a very long time coming, but that's my story in a nutshell.